Real life street stars, man. We finally got the man in here, man. SikWitit, man. I'm so sick.
Bro, you're one of the only people who really knows that tag. I don't use the tag anymore.
Why? Hold on, you don't use the tag anymore.
I don't as much. Yeah, I should probably bring it back, but
That's crazy.
I just
man.
pulled it out. You know, I was getting there was artists that I was working with, and they were like, "Yo, can you pull the tag?" And this was early when like tags weren't really popping, and so I pulled it trying to get the placement and stuff like that. But now, yeah, I should probably bring it back.
Yeah, man, we gonna tell a story, man. How we met SikWitit is Real Life Productions clicked it with AV. K104, shout out to AV. Doing the beat battles, didn't even know about them. Hey, in the finals, Blue the Misfit versus my boy SikWitit. Crazy battle. You end up taking the L, which I don't think you deserve that L, by the way. But you end up taking the L, but it was one of the first times I was like, wow, Dallas producers got some crazy heat, and all the beats you were playing were making the crowd go nuts, man.
Hey, what was that one beat? I mean, it was a sample you used. I don't know if it's Boys to Men. What was it?
One of them was a Boys to Men.
Boys to Men. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
when
Motown Philly.
Yeah, Motown. Man, when you pull that out, man.
I got them with me.
Yeah, when you pull
we need to
that,
hook something up. We can make it happen.
Hey, we gonna play. Wait, we gonna put it at the end or something. When you played that beat, that's when I knew, because we're out there in Den. It's not. We're from Dallas, so we don't get out to Den too often. But to see, the type of artistry that was up there, whether from the freestyle battle to the producers, but to see you go up there, not knowing nothing of you, and to leave with that kind of impression, I'm like, man, who is that? Like, and from there, it's just been work, man. So with that said, go ahead and let them know your name, let them know where you're from, let them know what you do, man.
Man, my name is SikWitit. I'm originally from Corpus Christi, but my career got started here in Dallas, so Dallas is definitely my home at this point, and I'm a music producer here in the city.
And when you say your career got started in Dallas, when was that, as far as what part of your life, how, what?
Well, I technically went full-time as a producer in 2013. Okay. And nobody here knew me. Nobody knew what was going on with me. I was an artist. I had a group. Yeah. I produced for that group as well, called The Citizens. And
shout out to Citizens.
We actually started kind of catching a buzz. We had our very first show was opening for Lil Wayne in front of like 10,000 people. Awesome. And so we did that for like 2 years. After that, I was still working a regular job. I was doing the weekend artist type thing, and our group started kind of disbanding just due to like real life, you know what I'm saying? No pun intended. But right. You know what I'm saying? Like some of them were having kids, some of them had jobs, some of them were getting married. And I just got to a point where I had invested so much into what we were doing, I felt like I wanted to continue doing it, so I thought about going full-time producing, talked to the remaining guys in the group, and they were super on board with it. They're like, yeah, we got you. And so in 2013, the first thing I did, I didn't know, I quit my job. My job was like stiffing me bad. They didn't pay me for 6 months. And I was living off of my savings. I was getting paid pretty decent, but I was living off of my savings. And I got to the point where I was running out of money. I had been with this company for like 8 years, and I started feeling very unappreciated. I helped them from the ground up. And it just got to a point I was like, bro, it's time to start doing something for myself. And so I quit. I was like, yo, I'm turning in. I was taking a leave of absence, and I was like, yo, until you can pay me, I'm going to take about a week off. And in that week, bro, it was like, I just knew. I was like, man, this music thing's never going to really take off until I fully commit to it. And so I took a leap of faith, went back at the end of the week, turned in a resignation letter. I was like, look, I appreciate everything you've done for me, but I'm done.
Man, there was a challenge, I think Reezy Tunes or somebody started, where it was like the first beat you ever made challenge. What does the first beat you ever made sound like?
The first beat?
That you ever made?
I copied Ice Cream Man by Master P.
That's probably hard.
Because I wanted to learn how to make beats, so
yeah.
I liked that beat, and so I grabbed it, and I just kind of went to my keyboard, or my dad's keyboard, and started messing around with it, trying to figure it out.
Are you one of the artists that learned by playing by ear, or
oh,
do you
yeah.
actually,
I am not technical at all. Yeah.
Most start with like not knowing music and just jump right into it, like, let me just try to copy a beat.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So how did you end up getting into the beat battles? Because that's where we met you at.
Yeah, so when I quit my job, I didn't know what to do. I barely had any money left in my savings. I applied for food stamps. I applied for unemployment. And I was like, what do I do? about a year and a half before then, I had done a beat battle in Corpus, and it was one of the biggest things that I'd been a part of. I got so much recognition from it, and I remembered what it felt like to be a part of that. I said, you know what? I think the fastest way for people to get to know me in Dallas is to see me, hear me, put my stuff on display. So let me look for some beat battles. Bro, I started typing in beat battles, and there was nothing at the time. Not one beat battle I could find. So I ended up going to like Austin. I did like 3 in Austin and went undefeated in Austin. And I remember I got an email from Jay Rhodes. Jay Rhodes used to send out emails through his 80s Baby account. And I had seen he said he was going to be judging, or he had judged a beat battle in Dallas. So I was like, bro, let me go check this out. And I started looking them up, and I noticed they were going to have another one. And this was in July. And in August, I went, checked it out. I was like, oh, yeah. This was at Crown and Harp. It was Joel Salazar's Too Fresh beat battle.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm going to sign up for this. So I went, signed up, got in that was my first introduction. I was at a little bar at Crown and Harp, packed out crowd. And I think the right people were in that building, because it was like after that, I immediately my name started traveling a little bit locally. Yeah. But then beat battles exploded in Dallas. Everybody was having beat battles. And I told myself, that's my mission. For the next 6 months to a year, I'm going to attend anything where I can get on stage. I'm there. I don't care if it's free. I don't care if I have to pay. I'm going to make it happen. So and that's...
A lot of our fans are aware of rap battles and the performance of that, doing rap battles.
Yeah.
Tell them exactly what goes into beat battling. How do you put together your performance of beat battling? And if they've never seen your beat battles, how do you handle your own beat battles and performance?
Well, beat battles, it's just like, if you've seen a rap battle, if you've seen 8 Mile, it's 2 producers on stage. They play, instead of spitting bar for bar at each other, they're playing beats at each other. Yeah. And so for me, this was serious for me. Yeah. Like, a lot of people don't really understand how serious. You got to imagine, I had nothing to lose, bro.
Yeah, no, we saw you took it serious.
I had nothing to lose. And I felt like this was my only shot. So I was like, I'm going to do, so every waking moment was beat battle mode. And here's the thing, I started researching beat battles. And I had seen the ones from 2008, 2009, 2010. I was like, all right, I see the kind of beats that are winning. But that's not what's today. Yeah. I said, I need to learn how to take what they're doing and then go far left with it and try something new. So I really believe I'm one of the ones that revolutionized how to approach a beat battle. So it was like night and day. I was like, okay, what can I do different? Because when I get on that stage and push play, all I want to do is shock everybody. I want everybody to just be like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? and that was my approach. And so every day, I mean, I would spend 2-3 weeks on one beat trying to get it just that Boyz II Men beat, the Motown feeling. I spent literally about 3 weeks just perfecting that beat, getting it just right. And it's one of my most requested to this day. Yeah. And so, it's just one of the, I took it serious. It was life for me, because my mentality was this. I know not everybody's going to like what I do, but somebody's going to like it. My goal is to create fans, people to take interest in me. So as long as I make an impression, that's all I care about. Right. Fortunately for me, I was winning every beat battle I was in. You know what I'm saying? So. Right.
There was a beat battle that you were part of, the Texas versus Canada, I think, in South by Southwest. Yeah. Man. Do you feel like y'all let the country down, man, when y'all lost? Y'all had the country on y'all back, man. How did y'all lose that?
Man, you know what, bro? Going into it, I felt a lot of pressure. Right. I think we all kind of did. But when you're there, it's just like, bro, we're doing something that has never been done. Right. Who really cares? Right. Like, I'm on a platform. I'm performing in front of all these people. First of all, you were there, were you there?
No, I wasn't there, but
let me paint a picture. In some of my other interviews, I talked about this, but bro, there 11,000 people RSVP'd to come to this thing. That's crazy. Only about 1,000 people could fit in the facility. There was lines going back on each side, bro. It was in that moment I realized how important this was. And to be one of 2 producers, me and B Barber were the only 2 to be picked from Dallas. Right. I did feel a lot of pressure at first. But when I got there and I realized, like, bro, there's so many people going to take away from this and know who we are. I don't care. Whoever loses still wins. You know what I'm saying? And so that was when I was there, was I disappointed we lost? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I was like, bro, we really
Y'all
all
won.
benefited
Y'all really
from
won.
this thing.
Right. Man, after that, it seemed like your rise was just rapid, man. I remember seeing you do the, go online and say, I'm about to go to New York for the Ice Standard. You went out, you won that. Then you started getting placements. Then you had one of my favorite shows, Power. You ended up having a song on that. Was that with the Citizens?
Yep.
Yeah, and you were actually on the hook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the
crazy.
hook.
So you rap too, right?
Yeah. Sing, rap. Yeah.
Sing, rap, produce. Do you just feel at some point God just blessed you with a lot of attributes? It's just like that.
I do, bro. I really, really do. I feel like we're all really blessed and talented. It's a matter of identifying what that is and embracing it. You know what I'm saying? And really believing in yourself. I think a lot of people just don't believe in themselves. And so, yeah, man, I think that in that moment, I felt, and you got to understand this, like, I feel blessed, but I worked my ass off. Like, that's the one thing people don't really account for is how much work you put into it. And the moment I decided, okay, beat battles is my road, I planned the whole thing out, bro. To today, everything that's happening, all planned out, all very strategic. Now, sometimes the course deviates.
Right.
And I feel like that's part of growth and just walking in your path.
Right.
Because you really don't know everything. You see it, but you really don't know everything. A lot of times we look at it like from a valley. Think of like a valley and mountain, right? We're in the valley. We can't really see everything. All we see is the top. So when you get to the top and you start looking down, you even get halfway up a mountain. You see things you never thought or saw were there.
That's dope.
And that's how I felt. I felt I'm just gonna keep moving. And as I got higher and higher, I started seeing other avenues and roads that I could take to get where I'm going. And it's still a growing process, bro. I'm not there, but I definitely felt like I'm blessed, but I'm also gonna work my butt off to prove that I deserve to be where I'm going.
Exactly.
So
I like that analogy too, man, as far as the Valley and Mountains, man. To even see that you got the placement on Power, this was back when Power was like jumping and stuff like that. And I mean, you were excited about the placement. Did you even watch the show? Like, were you a fan of the show?
at the time, I did not even, I had never watched it.
Do you watch it now?
I love it. I love Power.
I was say, if you knew, I mean, it's funny because I was excited for you. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be on Facebook saying, but I'm like, man, this is like big.
I knew how big it was.
Yeah, this is big.
But I had just not watched it. And when I got they had actually sent me the wrong information. And so I watched it the week before it came out. I was sitting there just like waiting for it to come out, right? And I was like, my song never came out. Yeah. But one thing I walked away from was like, yo, this show goes hard, dog. Like, I need to start watching this. And so I watched the next episode. And then what I ended up doing after I heard my record, I just went back and caught up. And I've been on top ever since.
Yeah, man. Drum kits, man. I mean, you got like 4 drum kits out right now. You know, how hard is it to make a drum kit, number one? And tell them about the drum kit that you have out right now.
Not hard at all.
I actually purchased one, the first one.
I need to give you the rest of them.
Oh, yeah. I just purchased because, you my partner. I was like, I just got to purchase it, show love, but.
They're not hard. It's just time consuming.
Right.
As my career grows, like I'm spread a little thinner in areas. And so it's just focusing and trying to get it all done. My first 2 kits, is it true? Yeah. I think it was my first 2 kits.
Yeah.
First 3 kits, actually, now I think about it. It was all beats I'd already done.
Yeah.
It was beats I had done. Some of them I didn't use for anything. Some of them I did. And what I did is I realized I was taking from the ones that were getting a lot of good reactions when I played them, and I took drum snippets, sound snippets, all that stuff, and I just started mixing them. And I was gonna make one kit, and before I knew it, my kit was like 10 gigs. It was like all this sound. I was like, yo, I can break this up. And so I broke up the first 3, and then this last one I did was a brand new approach. I literally was specifically trying to create like industry loops for producers to go in and just kind of use for their own production.
What's the hardest beat somebody ever sent you with your kit?
That they've made with my kit?
Yeah. You ever hear somebody be like, dang, he went off on my kid?
I don't know, man. I mean, at first I got a lot. That's the thing. I get a lot of them, and I listen to them. Some of them I'll repost. Any ones that I reposted, I liked. But I don't think anything just like was amazing.
Now, one of the things that I like about you, man, you know, especially when people blow up in Dallas, they tend to leave and all that good stuff. But you, it seems like you really are trying your best to hold it down for the city. You know, like you did a documentary where you highlighted some other producers. I think it was 15 of them. You made a CD. You had a premiere at a movie theater. You know, I was there. Just really good event, real good turnout. I seen you recently working with Uno Loso in the studio. Machine Masters, you did something with them, and you had Bobby Sessions and Topic. Yeah. That hit 1 million plus.
Yeah, almost hit 2.
Do you know that if you type in producer makes a beat, you're the first video that comes up?
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not putting on for the city, I don't know what is. So, I mean, where do you get that mentality from of just, you know, giving back? Because you're one of the people that I see actively always giving back, putting on events and doing big things for the city.
It's not easy, bro. I'll be straight up. Because a lot of times people don't appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, such is life.
Some do, don't get me wrong. Some are very appreciative. Some don't. And I'll tell you right now, sometimes I feel like I'm holding them by a thread because I really don't have anything holding me here. I've had plenty of offers to move to Atlanta, New York, and LA. And I've seriously contemplated it over and over and over. And the thing about Dallas is like, the reason I feel like Dallas never grows is because everybody sees what needs to be done, but nobody's willing to be the front runner. And because a front runner's really got to be selfless, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
They're really going to have to take it on the chin and do the work. And 9 times out of 10, the person that does all the work, somebody's going to come right behind them and take the shine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the unfortunate part. But for me, it's a few things, though. It's like, I think it's my upbringing.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with both my parents in the same household. But one thing my mom and my dad always told me, and it wasn't planned because they didn't even talk, but my dad, every time I stayed with my dad, he would always tell me before he leave, he said, I love you, be a good person.
Yeah.
And my mom would always tell me, you know, she was a big into church and Bible and stuff, and she's like, treat others as you want them to treat you. She would always tell me that. And I kind of put those things together, you know what I'm saying? I put those things together, and I felt like in my career, I felt a big reason why it propelled the way it did is because a lot of people in the city backed me up. When I did the GoFundMe, when I put I literally had to come to a point, because as a rapper, we're fake it till you make it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to make you feel like we are at the top of the world and winning, and we could be the brokest dude ever.
Basically.
And as a producer, I changed my mentality, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be super vulnerable right now. I'm going to let everybody know I'm broke. I need help. And when I did that, everybody came together to help me. So I felt like I had to give back. This is my way of giving back. I see the potential of all these producers. Some of them don't know how to market themselves. They don't even know how to do business. You know what I'm saying? Some of them rather just be in the back. And I'm like, bro, how do you expect to get out? So I try to help create situations that will put them at the forefront, give them a moment to shine, and spotlight who they are. And I feel that's important. I feel like if they gave to me, I got to give back somehow. And it may not be I'm giving back to the exact people that gave to me, but I'm giving back. You know what I'm saying? It's never, I can help you out 1,000,000 times over, but if I sit here and always expect, I'm probably going to be a bitter man because you probably won't give back what I gave. True. So I always expect it coming from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. All right, and you said, you know, you said a couple things there that's important because of course I watched your Vinny Vegas interview. Shout out to Vinny Vegas, but you said like you came from, you know, almost nothing where you had to go get, you know, they had to go get water and bring it, you know, just.
Y'all did watch the interview.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Just to go through things. And whenever I see you on social media and you know, you talk about your blessings and talk about, you know, events, I see the humbleness in you as far as, you know, it's not throwing in nothing face, but just you always start with where you came from and how thankful you are for the scenario. So, you know, shout out to the parents for making you that way.
Yes, shout out mom and dad.
But when you mentioned marketing, like I said, when we saw you at the Raw and Underground 9, I felt like you had the branding and marketing from the jump, from the get-go, from the way what you had with your outfit, the way you plan the beats going forward, your logo, your I Am SikWitit logo. Mm-hmm. It's you. It's like, you know, I mean, we might need a SikWitit hat line coming up or something, man, because I mean, it's so you that you're unmistakable now in a crowd. Like someone could point you out like, oh, I don't know his name, but I know him because he's familiar. Like, how important was that from you early on as far as branding and marketing yourself? As far as when did you get that understood with it?
So the job I quit, I was head of marketing for the company.
It all makes sense now.
I'm a graphics designer. All the graphics you see, I design all that stuff. What I was learning, I was able to do the early practices with my group, the citizens. And so what I realized is I also realized, like, if I'm gonna blow up, I need to put myself out like an artist would. Producers don't do that. Producers are so behind the scenes. So what I did is I took my experience from the job, I took my experience from the citizens, and I said, I'm gonna apply it to me as a producer, and hopefully it works. I felt like I had done enough trial and error, and I still developed, over the course of time. But yeah, immediately it started picking up. People started, what you said, identifying, and I was like, yo, there's something to this. And at the time, I think like Mustard and DJ Will were really popping, and I thought, man, producers are taking a new turn right now. I need to really push myself like this and consider myself more an artist than a producer, just in the artistry sense, not a rapper, right?
Yeah, right.
Just and so the forefront of something. So that's what I did, man. I was like, yo, I'm just gonna keep pushing myself, keep advertising myself, it's almost like at a necessity too, because nobody was talking about me. Nobody was writing. Nobody was calling me to do interviews. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that at that time. So I was like, you know what? I'm taking every little success I have and I'm putting it out there. I'm blowing it up, and I'm gonna let people know. And I had also watched the DJ Khaled interview. Yeah. And do you realize when DJ Khaled's career really took a turn? When he had the interview with Ebro in the morning. He's wearing the big red jacket. And he just went off. He started telling people, do you know what I've done? This is what I've done. This is why I should be on the cover. He went off, and at the time, I was barely a DJ Khaled fan.
Right.
But I started putting all that in perspective. I said, yo, this dude really has done a lot. And he hadn't really put it out there like that. The moment he put it out there and just let people know, it was informing. That's all. He wasn't trying to stunt. He was trying to inform, like, yo, you should have me on the cover because this. I don't think you're realizing what I've done. So for me, I was like, yo, I just need to inform people of what I'm doing so they'll continue to take interest in it. And that's kind of like been my mentality ever since.
Yeah, that's
and letting them know what you're doing, XXL. I know you spoke on it before, but of course you're on Street Stars now. So for those that don't know, you did run the 2017 XXL with 2016. I'm sorry, XXL with who was on it? Kodak Black, 21 Savage.
All the guys running it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
All the guys running it right now.
Exactly. And it's funny because when you see that, and everyone looks at the XXL and like wonder, because everyone has commentary about either the artists are good or bad or who's going to be on. But all of them are running it right now, as you say, a year later.
It's like that every year.
Exactly. It's like that every year, and that's why they XXL. I value that because it happens. But what were your thoughts on the artists at the time of rapping on your beat and even being able to be on that level of?
They trashed your beats, bro.
What were your thoughts then? Even with the commentary.
My beats did go hard. I was like,
hey, I actually like it now though. Like I watched it so many times, I just like it now.
Hey man, we're sitting on 60 mil on one of those.
Sick, bro. I sent my girl to this because I was trying to cook this yoga.
Does anybody in Dallas have 60 mil on anything that they're doing?
60 million? Bodak Yellow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Bodak Yellow's pushing
I
it.
think like 100
Okay, so first of all, it was very surreal for me. Like I've always dreamed of being on, because I remember I was an artist first. I always wanted to be on XXL.
Yeah, that's international. That's the world looking at you.
And so this was crazy because I still was part of a class. I just wasn't on the cover, but my beats, man, were. I didn't know a lot of the artists going into it. And I didn't know who it was. I didn't know until the day I got there.
That's crazy.
And that's what a lot of people don't know that either. I was actually at the shoot for everything. I didn't know Kodak. I didn't know 21. I knew Uzi. I knew Uzi was gonna be a star for the first time I heard Uzi. I knew Yachty. Of course, I knew Dickie. I knew Dave East. I didn't know G Herbo at the time.
Dave East saved this. Dave East and Gerbos, they saved the cypher, bro. They saved that.
I knew Anderson
Jesus
Paak.
Christ.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew about half of them. The other half, I had no clue who they were. So when I got there, I loved Dave East out the gate, dog.
Boy.
Like when I heard him going in, I was like, oh, they're killing this.
Yeah.
This is dope.
Old school spitter.
And
right
they were the first ones. And then when the other group, we had Denzel Curry. Denzel Curry wasn't even supposed to be in the group he was. He was supposed to be with Dave East. Think
been.
about it. Makes sense,
Should've been.
right? He was supposed to. They had sent him the wrong beat.
Oh, wow.
So he got his stuff together for the wrong beat. So they ended up having to put him with Kodak and with 21, Uzi, and Yachty.
It made him stick way out, though.
It made him stick out.
He stuck
did.
way out, though.
And when they got on, it was fun to watch. Initially, I was like, man, bro, like, I was hoping these dudes were going to prepare. Because, like, I think Uzi, 21, and Kodak straight up
freestyle, bro.
Straight up freestyle. Lil Yachty actually prepared. Lil Yachty had his down, and so did Denzel Curry. But the other three, I was like, oh, man, like, I want this to go. You know what I mean? Like, I want this to be a big deal. And I didn't know at the time how big it was going to be. Because it's actually it is the most viewed XXL cipher of all time.
Bro, when I look back at it, it's low-key epic, though.
It's dope.
It's like, I hated it at first, but then I don't know why I like it now. It's just almost like they made so many memes from it. Like,
it totally changed, like almost changed culture in a weird little way. And these guys literally are at the top of music right now.
And that's crazy.
And I'm so honored to be a part of that, bro. Yeah. Like, and that was my thing. I kept thinking of the opportunity that was gonna come after. Right. So I was trying to get through that moment because I felt like, okay, I may not be feeling it right now, but I know this is gonna do something. I believe that this opportunity came for a reason, and it did, dog. It blew up. You know what I'm saying?
What was your face like when Kodak straight took a shot at your beat, bro? I mean, just straight took a shot at you. It was like,
I have the video. I have my own personal video footage of Kodak saying what he said.
Yeah.
And I was actually filming it on my phone.
Right.
And the moment he did that, I literally went.
Camera phone went down.
Oh man. Wow.
And I got so angry, dog. Like, I was so mad. I really wanted to just charge the scene, bro, and be like, bro, what's up?
Like, come on, man.
But you know what happened? I really had first of all, they were so tight-knit there, dude. Like, we had to sign NDAs just going into the building. Like, and they told us, like, if you're going to video and take pictures, you cannot post anything until after we release stuff. So I kept thinking, I was like, okay, this is not about me. It's about them. And I had I'm glad I try to think ahead all the time. And I thought, you know what? As a producer, I already know not everybody likes all my stuff. So why am I tripping? If he can't like it, I'm not going to be mad at the dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he called me out, and it's going to be everywhere. But I just kept thinking of the overall opportunity from it, how much I was going to benefit from it. So I didn't want to jeopardize that. And I personally did think they were going to cut that part out. But immediately after that, if you ever wonder and feel like Kodak's verses kind of falls off, it's because
just abruptly quits.
He literally begged DJ Drama to change the beat. And
wow.
He's like, there is no other beat. This is the beat, dog. Make it work. And he literally put the mic down and walked off set. And he never went back to try to redo it or add something to it. That's why it's so small and so short. He didn't. He just walked off set. He was mad.
But in hindsight, that made it epic.
It
like,
did.
It's weird.
It gave us something to talk about, bro.
It's weird, bro. Like how that all came together and all those stars came together.
And I'm winning from it. I don't.
Definitely.
I'm still winning from it.
Because it literally shocked me. It said produced by SikWitit. I was like, what?
It's dope, bro.
Like, it's
crazy. Dope. I mean, and you know, my whole life I've always had to. I come from nothing, bro. Right. So I can make whatever I need to make out of even negative situations. You know what I'm saying? So I tried. At the moment, it felt very negative, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna bounce back from this. It's not that big of a deal. And trust me, my Twitter account got blown up. Whole bunch of Kodak stans calling me the whack ass producer, whack ass beat. And bro, that was the first time I ever dealt with
hate, like
internet backlash like that.
Right.
And I have my account set to private, so not everybody got to see that. I dealt with it, I muscled through it, got over it, and
bounced back strong.
Yeah.
So who are you working with? Any artists that you producers, you know, help develop artists and things like that. Are there any artists that you're working with right now that you're helping develop a sound?
Are you talking about like locally or just in general?
Yeah.
You know what? This year I really wanted to focus a little bit more local.
Gotcha.
So obviously I'm working with Bobby.
Right.
We're wrapping up an EP and we have an album right behind that following up.
Right.
Co-executive produced by me and him.
Dope.
And we're
Shout
Bobby's
out to
sound
Bobby.
is about to be the next. You're gonna see the evolution of Bobby Sessions.
Real spitter, man.
And
I
so
just went to the show.
But when I tell you his sound right now is crazy. It's like nothing you're used to hearing from Bobby Sessions.
And trust me, he showed me a couple. He showed me a couple
did
little
he?
snippets. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's
dope.
different. It's new. But I'm also working right now with Uno Loso as well.
Oh, now that's dope.
So I got a couple sessions with him this weekend. But
So that's a good thing because, you know, I like seeing that, especially Uno Loso. That's the homie. We've been knowing him for a while. Why do more producers that are kind of in your spot, which is having a voice or being notable, it doesn't seem like there's a connection between the local artists, you know, at least the top local artists and the top producers. Why do you think the disconnect's there?
There's a couple of reasons. I think, you know, we were talking about this earlier. I think that I think for producers, it's a new thing for us being at the top, and especially in the city. And so for a long time, I think we tried to make that connection, and it just wasn't happening. I was explaining earlier, artists will be artists. Artists are very self-centered and selfish. That's not a bad thing. That's what actually kind of makes them and creates who they are as a personality. But they're not really looking all the time for who's doing what around here. They're really expecting people to come to them. And that's kind of the name of the game for producers. We're always kind of reaching out, trying to find a place, trying to find somebody to work with. But I think also when producers get to a certain status, money starts rolling in, opportunities to work with your favorites start rolling in, and there's not a lot of time to really just look back. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Once you're gone, you're gone.
And so that's why I try to encourage it on the early level. Like with Bobby, I knew with Bobby immediately. The first time I saw him perform on his first song, I was like, yo, there's something special about this kid. I don't know who he is. I don't know his story, but I have to work with this guy. And you don't find that all the time. I don't care how popping you are. Producers got to feel invested. You know what I'm saying? To help that artist grow. Now, we could slang beats all day and be like, trust me, I've had almost everybody in this city hit me up for beats. But I ain't trying to just slang beats and have my name all over stuff. Yep. I value me as a producer. I value my quality. I want to make sure that I'm investing with these people and growing with them. So I don't know, man. I think a lot has to do with the artist as well. The artist needs to really reach back and be mindful of who's doing what. Right now, Bobby Sessions and Jason's Lyric are benefiting tremendous from the producer community in Dallas because they recognize the talent and they go to everything producer. Anything that has to do with producers, they are there, bro.
There you go.
And I feel like they're extremely smart for that because I was like, oh, you support us.
There you go.
And plus, I heard a DJ say a while back, I won't say who it was, but they said that artists got put on timeout by the DJ community because of how they treated DJs. And I've seen them treat artists like that too. Not all artists, though. You know what I'm saying? And then we have a whole new school of artists that are coming through that I don't even think they fall into that category. But it's something to be said about the Dallas scene. I think we're trying to make that connection. We're trying to get back to developing and building with the people around us because I think everybody in the city senses like we're really, really close.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's just a matter of finding who I feel I match well with, who I feel like I believe in. And it's not discrediting other art. And it's in situations. Like, what kind of situation do you have? I'm not going to sit here. You know, for years, bro, I did the free shit, bro. It's like, yo, everybody come to the studio and I'm recording. I start at 11 o'clock at night. I'm going till 7 in the morning, then got to be at my job at 9 o'clock every day, bro, for years. And none of those artists have done anything with their career. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so much more mindful now, too. It's like, okay, as an artist, what are you bringing to the table? I don't care if you could spit.
Yeah, we got to meet halfway.
What else are you doing? Like, are you going to work as hard as me? You got to at least match my hustle.
Exactly.
You don't have to be hard. You don't have to work harder, but you got to match my hustle, man. Like, so that's part of it, bro. It's a combination of all that stuff.
Definitely. Would you say like right now, of course, you know, with they saying the era right now is, you know, they call it mumble rap. They say a lot of those artists are making it now to where producers are, you know, more heavy influence now. Of course, even with the #2 song, soon to be #1 song, Jay White produced for Bodak Yellow. That's more of a production-driven song as far as the beat-wise. What do you feel is the most important as far as with the song-making process? Writer, artist, producer, engineer, what order? Go ahead and give it.
All of it.
Oh,
All of
all
it.
even, huh?
Yeah, as a
You
producer.
don't think one more is important than the other? Or?
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, listen, man. Ain't nobody going to SoundCloud or to the store to buy an all acapella CD. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Real talk.
if that's the case, you're going to these poetry slams and listening to people spit poetry.
Right.
So, for an artist, yeah, the beat's a big part of it. But when you create something special, you look at like a situation with me. Like I keep bringing Bobby because that's the one I'm working. Even with Loso, we're getting in the studio and vibing off of each other. We're creating together. When you can do that, and you have a good writer, a good artist, a good singer, a good producer, all coming together to create something special, that's when you have hit records. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not always. Sometimes you can get the internet stuff, right? But there's a lot that can go into a record, and they can all play an equal value if we all value each other. But even like Jay Oliver says, like, man, forget this about the producer. It's not just about the beat. But you know what? He's an artist. So he brings his A game on all sides and creates fire. You know what I'm saying? So I partially believe in what he's saying, and then the other part is like, the producers need a little more credit at this point. You know what I mean? Because we do put in a lot of work, man. We do a lot of stuff for free a lot of times, especially when we buy into you as an artist. And
most definitely.
And it's the right producer. It's not all producers. Not all producers are gonna make the artist better. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I think it can be all inclusive, but you know, as a producer, I'm gonna lean a little more to the production side.
Real talking. Just real quick on the current events. I think we were speaking a little earlier about the Catch Me Outside girl. She signed a deal.
Yeah.
You okay with that deal? I mean, you okay with her signing a deal? A lot of people are giving a lot of hate. You know.
100% okay with it.
Definitely. An artist like Cardi B making music, and then of course someone like Black China following. Do you feel like really just anyone can get in the game based on just fandom or followers on Instagram?
Yeah. They, regardless of how you want to look at it, they've created leverage for themselves.
Yeah, they got marketability.
They have marketability. They've created leverage, but like I was saying earlier, let's act like this hasn't been happening. You have what is it? Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
They got a record deal, bro. You know what I'm saying? Soulja Boy. He got a record deal. But you know what it is, and that's what I was saying earlier, it's always been about can they package something and sell it. Always, even from back in the day. That's why they put so money and invest in these artists and develop them, is because they feel they can package it and the masses will approve of it and buy. And so nothing's changed. I mean, how it's done might be changed. The internet changes it, right? And it comes from people you would never guess. But I'm not mad at it at all, bro, because you look at like Cardi. Cardi has opened a lot of doors, bro.
She did.
People are gonna look at reality stars way different. Even though K. Michelle was probably the first one,
she
ain't blow up like
Not
Cardi.
like Cardi, bro.
And technically, Bergoli, what's her name? Danielle.
Yeah.
Technically, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
She's not a reality show star, but she's definitely a TV sensation and viral sensation, right? And her song's jamming, bro.
Yeah,
if you sit here and deny the song's not jamming, something's wrong with you, bro.
That's a weird thing.
And did you hear her freestyle?
Yeah.
Her freestyle content actually goes harder than the song, bro. I was like, yo, and it made me wonder if anybody's writing for her. But if they're not writing for her at 14, that's not bad.
That's crazy.
And me and my boy were talking. She actually kind of sounds like a girl rapper from Dallas, if you think about it.
We'll let you figure that one out.
Yeah.
If someone came to you and said the best artist out of Dallas Fort Worth is Tay K, what would you say?
I'd say they're idiots.
What do you think?
No shots. Like,
what do you think is Tay K's with the Rays? What do you think that whole aura is about? As far as just, is it about the run, as far as him running from the cops. Because I just seen Fetty Wap did a remix. Of course, I mean, a lot of artists has done a remix. Story, yeah, it's just like, do you think it's the story, the artist, or really the producer, the beat that actually makes the race what it is?
I think we're discrediting his targeted market, which I don't think he's specifically targeting, but the older we get, like, we forget that there's 12 to 18-year-olds, bro.
Right.
And they love that kind of music. These days, you don't really know what's gonna pop.
And they're internet savvy.
I just think he was really fortunate, bro. I think the carry and the stretch of the record the story complemented that and helped it go a little further. But the initial break from it, nobody knew that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is these kids just loved it, bro. They were
Right.
listening to it on SoundCloud and YouTube,
Right.
and it took off, bro.
Right.
Like, there's something to be said for that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you just don't know.
To
like,
get charting, that's crazy.
that what?
To get charted,
Bro, that's what I'm
ridiculous.
saying. That's why I'm saying, like, a lot of these older dudes, I kind of get upset with them. I was like, bro, like, look at it in perspective. Gangster rap nowadays is so frowned upon, bro. But it was hot
Everybody
at
was
one
jamming
moment.
NWA, and he was
Every
kidnapping
era-
Dre on the.
There
Come
are
on, man.
eras in music, and there's always crunk music, bro. Come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always eras of music that you listen to, and you're like, this is whack. How are they even getting deals? How are they blowing up? How come people are buying their stuff? But in that moment, there's a fan base for it. That doesn't discredit what hip hop's all about. Hip hop is still extremely strong, bro. It's strong. It may not be at the forefront of the marketing of music's marketing game plan, but it is strong, bro. You got guys like J. Cole and Big Sean and Kendrick and those guys are creating longevity. They're breaking records, something that these young kids ain't doing yet.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
facts.
saying? So it's just a balance, bro.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we see the younger generation getting more exposure, but
Yeah, it's just
there's
the
a
power
lane
of
for
the internet.
everybody.
Man, let them know, man, where they can get your drum kits, and if they need production, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, man. You can go to my website at imsosick.com.
I'm so sick.
Yeah, and sick is spelled S-I-K. S-I-K. All my social media is I am SikWitit. That's on everything, social media. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all.
Nah,
Y'all,
man,
hey,
it's
y'all
long.
really put it on, bro.
Hey,
I remember when y'all barely had any interviews, and now
Let's
like
go.
y'all done
Let's
interviewed. Man, y'all gonna have to move to another city, bro.
Yeah, for real. Facts. We
But
done got
man,
everybody.
I'm super proud of you guys, man. Like, hats off for real, because y'all are one of the few platforms that stay looking out for the up and comers and staying true to who the city really is. So
That's what's up.
appreciate y'all, man.
Man, you heard it from SikWitit, man. SikWitit, man. You already know you a real life street star, man.
Hey.
Let's get it.
Shout out Reallyfe street stars, nigga. Move it. Hey.